Hello and welcome to our experiment. Today we will be showing you the hot ice experiment. In this experiment you will see the liquid form of sodium acetate react with a solid crystal-like form of sodium acetate to form a hardened crystal-like structure. For this project we worked as a team with each of us playing a significant role in each process of the experiment. Time to go over some of the members of our group. This is Lex Cook, he's from Fremont, Nebraska, and his major is exercise science. Next up, we have Isabel McCarty. She's from Council Bluffs, Iowa. Her major is exercise science, and she has a minor in nutrition. And lastly is me. My name is Trayton Graff. I am from Hollenberg, Kansas. My major is exercise science, and I have a minor in nutrition. So before we get into the experiment and the videos that we took, we should go over some background information for this experiment. The objective of this experiment is to use baking soda and vinegar to form sodium acetate. Sodium acetate is found in various applications including food preservatives and seasonings. Our hypothesis for this experiment was that the supersaturated solution of sodium acetate will crystallize and will release heat since there is a chemical energy being released. The reason we chose this experiment was because we wanted to experience an exothermic chemical change. We also thought this was going to be a fun and fascinating experiment, so we thought we should give it a try. In this picture here, you will see the list of materials we used to complete our experiment. The materials we used was 4 tablespoons of baking soda, 4 cups of vinegar, a steel pot, a clear container, measuring cups, a stirring spoon, and lastly a plate. The first step of our experiment was to pour 4 cups of vinegar into the steel pot. The vinegar is at the beginning of our reaction, and we first had to pour this in so we get our reaction started. Our next step was to add 4 tablespoons of baking soda to the vinegar. We had to make sure to pour this slowly, because if we went too fast, the baking soda and the vinegar would overflow and go onto our stove. Our next step of the experiment was to boil the sodium acetate until we saw crystals on the side of the pot, which you can see there in the picture that was taken. Our next step was to place the sodium acetate solution into the fridge for about 30 minutes to cool it off so we can continue on with our experiment. So while we waited for our solution to cool off in the fridge, we scraped off the crystals off the side of the pot and the bottom of the pot. We would use those crystals we scraped off from the pot to begin our reaction. After 30 minutes, we pulled out our solution and poured them onto the crystals we scraped off from the pot. When we were pouring, we had to make sure to go slow so we didn't ruin the reaction. When we were pouring, we noticed that the crystals expanded when we poured the liquid on them. And we also noticed that when it happened, it released a lot of heat and it expanded and kind of almost hardened up in a way. Below, you can see the final image of our hot ice experiment. You can see that the sodium acetate liquid combined with the sodium acetate crystals that we scraped off from the bottom of the pot. So after doing this experiment, we noted the most exciting parts. To us, watching the sodium acetate react was definitely the most exciting part of the experiment. We also enjoyed mixing the baking soda with the vinegar. It also kind of gave off some kind of reaction, so we enjoyed that part as well. And we also enjoyed feeling the heat that came off the hot ice we made. It really showed an exothermic reaction, and we really found that interesting. One of the most challenging parts of this experiment was waiting on the sodium acetates to crystallize. It took a while, and if you didn't have the patience, you might mess up the experiment. Also, finding the right amount of vinegar and baking soda was another problem we faced. A few times, we put too little of vinegar and too much baking soda, or vice versa, and if you didn't find a happy medium, you might end up messing the entire experiment up. We also found pouring the substance slowly on the sodium acetate crystals to be kind of challenging. There's a few times where we poured the liquid sodium acetate after we pulled it out of the fridge. We poured it on the crystals a little too fast, and when we did that, it didn't really make a reaction. It kind of just decomposed the crystals that we had. And then lastly, knowing when to pull the substance from the fridge. If we poured it a little too early or a little too late, it wouldn't combine and make a reaction. So therefore, you had to be perfect and make sure you find the happy medium on when to pull the substance from the fridge. Lastly, the lessons we learned from this experiment was that some reactions take a long time. It's important to go slowly. It's important to follow each step perfectly. and it's important to be prepared. Thank you for watching our video.